Hi everyone, my name is Puteri Maya Aulia Hasan. My last three digit numbers are 096 and I am from 2024A. Today, I will tell you about my story, which is like a colorful journey about how various cultural aspects help shape my understanding of the English language. First is about my encounter with English. I think English first interested me when I accidentally watched Harry Potter and Percy Jackson on television when I was about 10 years old. Apparently, I stayed to play it and hope that there's another movie like that tomorrow. And the second one is about my relationship with language. For starter, I was interested in language since I was a toddler, but not in English. I like to write short stories and reading magazines my mom had, and it's all Indonesian. I write a lot and I read a lot more. And the next one is what cultural context impacted me. Well, even to be honest, the school had zero impact on my English skill because of the lack of material in it. It's more like we just repeat the same things over and over again. Either way, until middle school, I was more interested in science and even some medals, won some medals for it. But that changed when I began to take a liking to English songs and YouTube videos such as Alan Walker and Minecraft gaming videos. Being into K-pop also helps because some of the content didn't have Indonesian subtitle, so I have to know English to know the context. The next one is just went on from there. I only studied English seriously from the start of high school and ended up joining an English speaking extracurricular in my last year of high school. It's quite late, yes, but I had a chance to being the tutor for my juniors, so it's all worth it. To be honest, I am learning English because I find it more easy to understand than doing math. For your information, I'm really bad at math. With language, it can be hard sometimes, but I still find it enjoyable. And even doing some Olympiad with it. And next is how English shaped my thinking or emotional expression. I think using English made it more easy for me to speak up my mind or feelings. I'm a thinker, INTJ, so I find it hard to speak up my feelings sometimes. But with English, because it's foreign language, it's make it more easy to open up. The last time I felt like a real writer or speaker of English is when I published a writing of mine in an writing site, but in Wattpad I never published anything and it only remains as a draft. Since my last draft is on 2023 and I'm not interested in continuing it. The next is when I started to write for real is on Outry or a global site for writing. First, I write it for myself, but the kudos and comments are very encouraging, and it made me continue writing because I know someone out there is reading and appreciating my writing. For speaking, being on social media is doing wonders for my vocabulary and fluency. There, I met various people from international and chatted them on space. It was a joy to see that some of them also know native but already so fluent in speaking English. The next one is about the media that had biggest influence on me. There are so many aspects that contribute to my English skill, such as YouTube videos, game, and also social media. But I could choose one. I think it's because of writings like books that were written by native authors or non-native ones that helped to broaden my vocabulary. Of course, I couldn't discredit YouTube videos because it made me more familiar with listening English and speaking it as well. Here are some of my favorites that I often watch in my free time. It's a mix and match. As long as it's English, I watch it. Of course, I can't forget about the one of the main reasons that I want to pursue English because of these two K-pop idols, Chan and Felix from Stray Kids. They're both from Australia, and I found that their English is so interesting to learn. I kind of making them my role model to learn English and just my dream to study abroad. The language I use with my family is obviously Javanese, and with my friends it mixes between Javanese, Indonesian, and English. I had to accommodate each of their language capability and then I had to adapt to it. The next one is about how do I code switch or plan language in specific situations. Well, I often code switch between Indonesian and Japanese to cover up for the words I didn't know. I also often code switch between Japanese and English when speaking with friends from campus. The next one is about lingua franca, which is to my understanding is the bridge that connects between different languages. For me, English is one because it helps a lot express my thoughts and communicate with friends from different countries. With people from Philippines, Europe, or America naturally converse in English to find a common ground. And in my real life, Indonesian is my lingua franca because when someone didn't understand either Japanese or English, I can always explain it to them in Indonesian. It's the national language for a reason. And last but not least, how does my digital identity differ from my real world? Well, I often use casual English when I went online on social media, and I also use a lot of slang words just for the fun of it. But when it comes to real life, I use more easier words to say because I wasn't familiar with the pronunciation. Alright, so thank you so much for listening to my literacy journey, and I'd like to thank so many people that have contributed to my speaking skill by giving me confidence to speak it more. For the people mentioned, thank you very much for the precious experience I have in English literature for these 3 semesters, and see you later.